Home remodelers, I'm going to show you how to set up internal notifications as well as external notifications. So think of it as SMSs and emails to your leads when you set up meta ads. Now, if you haven't watched my previous video on how to set up meta ads, this is a continuation of that. Now, as we can see here, I created a Facebook page, Home Remodeling Maroondah Council. Now, to be clear, you can, or two things to be clear, actually, I get a bit ahead of myself, don't I, sometimes? Quickly just going to show you, we have a form here. It's really important. So we have a form, and this particular form, actually, I'll scroll down. Here we go. This is the form that the leads would have to fill out. Now, right now, if you had followed my previous video, right now what would happen is if the lead clicks submit, nothing else would happen. You would have to manually check your leads in your Facebook Ads Manager. I'm not going to bother telling you how, because what I'm about to show you is going to make that redundant. To view them. So it means that you don't get notified as soon as they come in, so that it's hard to have really good speed to lead. They don't even get a confirmation SMS or email, or in this case, what I'm going to show you is I might show you some cool things you can do. We'll see how we go, see how long this video goes. I might make it a separate one. So you need to set that infrastructure up, that IT infrastructure, if you will, that back-end automation. Now, I'm going to show you how you can do it with our CRM, Mammoth. Now, Mammoth is white labeling Go high level. I tell you that because two reasons. One, you might be able to use it yourself. It might be more expensive than what we provide it for. That being said, I actually have heard that the high level doesn't like to provide this CRM to businesses that aren't agencies, like Colossal Growth, like us. And if they find out you are, they'll tell you need to go elsewhere. Like, you need to sign up with an agency. So just be aware of that. I haven't checked it myself, but just something I've heard. But I guess the thing to be aware of is that this is industry standard CRM. Yes, things can be customized, things like that. But what I'm about to show you, I guess, is what I'm saying is that it's not just our CRM. A lot of agencies white label this software. Go high level. It's very common, so you should be able to use it. There are other things you can use, such as Zapier, make.com. I'm not going to go through that because it's been a long time since I used those for these notifications, because the CRM is just a billion times better. So I'm going to stick with what I know. So I've already created a sub account, but if you're working with an agency or with us, for instance, you would just have this pre-created, but everything else is from scratch. So let's get into it. If we were to do it in Mammoth or Go High Level, I'm going to call it Mammoth from here on in because that's what we call it. You can see right here, we have a nice, big, woolly, hairy mammoth. Okay, first thing you want to do is you're going to click Connect with your Facebook. Yes, that's fine. Now, pop-up's going to come up. You'll have to log in. This is another reason why, by the way, I say that if you're setting this up, if you're the home remodeling business owner, you want to set everything up yourself, because as you can see, I've got to log in through my account to connect access. If you've got two different people with different access on Facebook and everything like that, it gets really messy and it gets really frustrating. And I can say this from experience as an agency owner, that when you work with clients who haven't got this set up right, it is a nightmare. So I'm kind of telling you this selfishly, because when you come to work with us, hopefully you've done all these steps, so that it's really smooth when we go. So instead of you getting bogged down, us getting bogged down in all the tech, we're getting your leads and you're getting jobs. Anyway, I'll move on. So continue as Matthew. This works, by the way, because I'm keeping it clean with what I've logged in. I set up the Facebook page with my account, things like that. Now I'm going to select the business, Home Remodeling Maroondah Council. I'm going to click Done. Okay, give it a second. Excellent. Now, if I go down to settings, I'm now going to go down to scroll down and go to integrations. Now you can see here, we've got Facebook connected. I'm just going to select the ad account. Actually, what is this ad account? Can I see? Go to Ads Manager. This should be easy, by the way. I've got heaps of ad accounts because I'm helping different businesses. But yourself, it should only be one that really comes up probably. So 155, I'm just going to select the right one. Actually, I've already got it here. I'm going to have to blur out the rest. You guys are making me work too hard. I'm going to have to blur out all these details to protect people's privacy. How am I going to do? How am I going to do this? How am I going to fit this in? Select the Facebook page. So this is pretty basic. You're going to select the Facebook page. So it's just loading. You'll be able to select the Facebook page. So I'm just going, man, I've got to scroll. I've got so many people, so many businesses. Here we go. Done. Connect page. Again, this should be easy. You should only have 1 or 2, really. Cool. We have that here. You can do things like syncing your Instagram leads and all that. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to keep this as Facebook, nice and simple for now. So step 1 completed. We've hooked up our Facebook account and more importantly, the Facebook page. Now, this is really important to be aware of. I'm going to, am I zoomed out a little bit? Is that right? No, I am zoomed in. Okay, so if I click on the ad again, and we can scroll down to where we can see the form, which is here. This is the form title, 2024 1029 kitchen reno form. If I now go to Facebook form fields mapping, so in case you are going around in your CRM, we go down. If you're in Launchpad, I'm just going to show you settings, and we go down to integrations. Now we're going to click on Facebook. I'll zoom in it. Facebook form fields mapping. Now we're going to, so it's automatically detected the form. This is another reason why I say, by the way, you want to use as few forms as possible, and also you want to name your forms appropriately, because this will stack up if you're using different forms. And every time, so this automation I'm about to show you, every time you create a new form in Meta Ads, so your Facebook Ad Manager, you have to basically go through this similar process which I'm about to show you. Not everything I'm about to show you, but it's part of the process to make sure it works. So it also adds a level of risk to your business and or lots of labor. So you've got resources, or you've got an agency, and you've got all this money on ad spend, and it's just the agency's just like, yeah, we'll do it all in the back end because you're going to make so much money. It's fine. But if you're not there, it's going to be a pain in the backside. So I'm going to click map fields. Sorry, I'll do that again. I have this tendency to click things without saying what I'm doing. So we have map fields. I'm going to click there. Now this is really basic because there's a phone number, email, full name, and city. And this automatically detects everything. There's no what we call custom fields. So if you had a question, which is absolutely reasonable and sometimes very good to put in ads, if you had a question that was something like, are you looking for a kitchen or a bathroom renovation? There is a way to add that in. I'm not going to put it in this video, but if you want it, just let me know. But it's also called custom fields, by the way. Custom fields, in case you Google that. And click save. So now that we've mapped the field, that's the first step. Now, still we're not going to do anything. This isn't going to send any internal notifications or anything like that. It's just getting the data. It's basically going, cool. We know the data can talk to each other. The data now can talk from this particular form, which we can see here, to the CRM. At the moment, right now, it's not going to do anything though. So what we're now going to click on is go back. Now we're going to click on automation. Automation just here. We're going to create workflow. I'm going to just start from scratch. And let that load. Got it. Now I like to name things properly. 2024, so it's now 11th. So first the 11th. And we're going to call this, we're actually going to call this, actually we'll just call it leads notification. Meta ads leads, that's fine. And I like to click save quite a fair bit. So now we're going to do where it says here, add new trigger. I'll zoom in a little bit. Zoom in a bit, here we go. Add new trigger. We click that. We're going to move myself here. We're now going to click on, actually I'm going to pause the video real quick because I want to disable these things that are coming up because something else might come up that breaches privacy and I can't bother blurring it out later. Pausing it now. Okay, I think I've disabled it, which is cool. Okay, so search trigger and we're going to type in Facebook. Lead form submitted. Here we go. Now we're going to do pages. We're going to select the page and add filter. Form is this thing. So what we're saying is here, the page is what the page is, and the form is what this form. There it is, what this form is. I'm going to click Save Trigger. So as you can probably see, every time you create a new form, another step you'll have to do is not just integrating it, like I showed you before, or mapping the fields, I should say, but you're going to have to add that trigger in every time as well. So just to be aware of. Now, what we're going to do, this is how I'm going to do it, by the way. Actually, there's more to this. I'm going to keep this simple. There's a pipeline you can create and cool things like that. I'm not going to do that in this video because I'm just going to potentially overwhelm you. So we're going to keep this basic. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a contact. We'll do that for now. And we'll just do, actually, you know what? That isn't working for me. I'm going to have to do it. Okay, back to workflows. I'm going to show you something. So if you go to the opportunities tab right here, we can add a pipeline. I'm going to keep this really basic. I'm just going to call this, let's just call this inbound leads. And we'll just say new lead as a stage. You'll see what I'm doing in a sec. I'll show you. It'll make sense in a second. We'll say lead contacted, quote booked. I'm not going to do everything. I'm not going to build out a whole pipeline, but I'm just going to keep it really simple so you can see what's happening. So now if we go to this pipeline I've just made, you can actually, contacts will come in here and you can drag them across. You might see that in a sec if I do. Yeah, I will show you how to do a test lead. So now, why does this make sense? Because I'm going to go back to the automation. Or why is this needed, I would say. I'm going to do an automation. I'm going to go here. I'm going to do create or update opportunity. Now we're going to create it in the pipeline, which is inbound leads. New lead is the stage. We're going to call this opportunity name. It's going to do contact.name. Opportunity source, we're going to do meta ads. Lead value, let's just say 20K for now. Status is going to be open, and that should be fine. I'm going to save this. I'm going to click publish as well. That's not going to do anything yet. So what we're saying here is, I'm just going back now to opportunities. What we're saying is when the lead, when this meta ads lead, its lead fills out the form, their name is going to automatically pop here. And I'll show you in a sec, but it's going to pop here in new lead. So you've got a sales pipeline. Okay, let's go back to automation. Back to this thing. Now, what I'm actually also going to do, look, I'm just going to, well, now that we've done it, I'm just going to keep going through it. So I'm going to add a tag, and I'm going to call this meta underscore ads lead. Now, why would I want to do a tag that's meta ads lead? I want to be able to track very easily where these leads are coming from, which you can do, by the way, through other things within it, but I like to make it really clear segmentation. Make it really nice and clear, so it's just like, cool, that was a meta ads lead, job done. So I'll do meta ads tag. I also want to publish this. Just a quick one while I'll show you. Just make sure that at least before you test, you have it on publish, because otherwise if it's in draft, it's not going to work. Okay. Add meta ads tag. Then what else do we do? We're now going to do, actually it's usually a good idea to assign a user, by the way. So if you've got multiple team members especially, but I'm just going to, actually I've got no user here. But if you had a user, you would add them in. I'm going to leave that for now. That's probably not providing as much value. Now this is where we get into the internal notification. Big value, big value. So internal notification, let's make it an email. Let's say, now email is going to send an email. Notification is going to send a notification in the app. Yes, you can actually access Mammoth and all these Go high level versions on your phone actually through the high level or the lead connector app. So that's what the notification will do. Or an SMS. I'm just going to do email. So I have to call this location.name. This has got, I'm going to zoom in a bit here. Location.name is just going to be what the business name is. Look, you can type in your full name if you wanted to, but obviously as an agency, we're working with multiple businesses. We just have these little hacks, if you will. Well, there's not really hacks, but ways of working that make sense. From email, so I like to do location.email. There is more you have to do, by the way, to set up your email address properly to increase deliverability with Lead Connector. And it involves registering a domain. It's getting a bit technical. Obviously, we do that for our customers if needed, but just be aware of that. Okay. Now, you can actually do all users or whatever. I'm just going to do custom email for now. Assign user can be good if it sends it to the person assigned. Let's just do custom email. So I'm actually going to do location.email. So it's going to send to itself, whatever is set up. Subject, I'm going to do new lead for location. Oopsie. Location.name. Location.name is just the business, by the way. It's just a variable or a custom value, they call it. I'll call it new meta ads lead. Now, I'm just going to, what I like to do, by the way, this is a little hack. I'm just going to fill this in. I'm going to click save action. Why would I do that? Because sometimes as I fill out this internal notification, if I'm typing and I accidentally click cancel or something like that, I've lost all my progress here. So it's a little hack I've learned along the way of doing this many times is you fill this thing out, just type in, like you get into a test, save action, save it up here, boom, I can come back now, I can make my template, my notification. So I can do this, new meta ads lead for location.name. And then, this is really important. we need to put in the custom values. So let's watch this. Watch this. I'm going to put in name. Now, if I just go here where it says custom values, I can literally just search name. You want contact full name. Now, contact is really important. If it doesn't say contact dot, it could be something else. If it says user dot, it's actually someone in your CRM, in your business. It needs to be contact dot name, for instance. We want to put in all the custom values that are basically hooked up to this form. So phone, email, full name, city. So let's go phone, custom values, phone, email, contact.email, and then we're going to put in city. Good. I'm going to save action again, and I'm going to go back, save it again. I'm just going to put in here, I have to put in instructions, contact the lead, and update the pipeline and notes in Mammoth. Actually, you should put a TM symbol there with the actual proper symbol, but I'm just going to leave that. Doesn't matter. It's fine. Good. Okay. Now, what's going to happen now is when someone fills out this form, what's going to happen is that lead will come through. So the lead will come through into the opportunities tab. I'll quickly show you that again. Into the pipeline. It'll come through as a new lead here. Let's go back to the automation. Boom. It's going to add a tag to the contact. It's meta adds lead, so it's really good for tracking. And it's going to send an internal email. Now, it's an internal email. Now, I'm going to show you, I'm going to pause the video, but I'm going to show you a really, really useful tool for testing this. Okay, so there's a link, and I'm going to put it probably in the description, hopefully I remember, but you can also see it here, and I'll zoom in. developers.facebook.com/tools/lead-ads-testing. Also known as a lead ads testing tool. This thing is an absolute lifesaver. So I've got the page selected. I've got the form selected. Now what you can click create lead. This is a better way to do it. Click preview form. Now we can see the form here. I'm going to put in a fake number. It's auto-filled my email address, which I'm going to blur out. But I'm just going to do continue, submit. Cool. So that's kind of a sample of what the text people will see on your form. It will look different when they actually fill it out. Now let's have a look. Did it actually work? So we can go back to workflows, and as we can see, hey, check this out. Total enrolled, I'm trying to zoom in, has 1. Let's click the opportunities tab. Check that out. I'm there. And if I click on myself, I can see all these details, which is cool. I can also move myself across here in the sales pipeline. Or move your lead, I should say. And let's check this out. If I go to the... Move you back. If I go to the conversations tab... it's not going to show it there. The email thing might not be as well set up because I hadn't put a correct email in, so it probably hasn't worked properly. But what would have happened is an email notification would have been sent. And if you have any issues on that, let me know. Okay. So what next? So let's go to automation again. So that's good. We've tested that it gets added here, and we've tested everything up to here works. Well, we haven't tested the email works simply because I haven't got the email stuff set up properly. Excuse me. But it's probably going to work. So now what's next? I'm going to give a really basic thing, but now we want to send an external email and SMS to the customer. Again, to set up the SMS functionality, you need to set up a phone. Actually, I'm just going to do a quick, I'm not going to show you everything, but if we go to settings, if you click on email services, you will see here that something's going to come up, and it's basically going to say you're going to want to create a dedicated domain. So in this case, you can see that we've got a master email system verification that can be used, but even then, that's like a backup. We actually create a new domain or subdomain where needed for our clients. Because it's just better deliverability. So that's to be aware of. But phone numbers as well. So to send the SMSs to the leads, you do need to have a phone number. And that needs to be set up here. Now, if you're in the US, so if you're in the United States, there's actually a whole compliance framework called the A2P framework. And there's a bit of a process actually to get your phone number enabled for text functionality, if you want to use like a mobile number. So we can help you with that if needed. If you are in other countries such as Australia, we actually use a process called a regulatory bundle, and it is actually a lot less intense, for lack of a better term, than the US framework. As long as you got your business registrations and basic official documentation, good to go. So once you basically go through that stuff, again, we help our clients with that, but just so you're aware, you can actually set up and get your phone number set up. If you're with an agency, they should help you with, by the way. But let's assume that we've got our phone number set up and with SMS functionality. So what we can now do, I'm going to move myself here. So just to be clear, just as a recap, when a lead submits the form, that opportunity will be created in the pipeline. A tag will be added to the lead. Actually, I didn't show that before. I'll show that right now. So if I click on the opportunity, you can actually see here that it's got a tag, meta adds lead. And you can put as many tags as you want. I don't recommend having too many though. Make sure, my recommendation is, if you're going to have a tag, have a good reason for it. What are you going to use that tag for? Like, why does it need a tag? In this case, I like to know where the leads come from. So a tag makes sense. Okay, let's add another thing that happens. So then there's a tag, and then an internal notification. I'm even going to say this, internal email notification. Save it. Now we want to send an SMS to the prospect. So I'm going to send SMS, and you can create templates, by the way. I'm not going to worry about that, but I'm just going to make up a basic one. Hi, contact.first_name. Also, I'm typing this because I know it, but what you can just do actually is custom value. Just type in first name, contact first name. That's the easiest thing. If you're not familiar with this, do that, because if you get one letter wrong, it's going to ruin it. I'm going to say user. Okay, I'm just going to say this. We've got your details, aiming to call you within 5 minutes. You can probably customize this, make it a bit more enticing, especially if you've got a limited promotion or anything like that. Kind regards, location.name. Okay, I'm going to go to this, follow my instructions for you. Does it actually show it here? I don't think it does, actually. We're just going to do this, location.name. Okay, cool. I hope I've got that custom value right. If I haven't, lol. So that'll be the SMS. And really, also, you can do the same thing if you just type in email, send email, that's going to send to the prospect. So this is something, by the way, I got a little bit confused on when first doing this. So if you go into notification, internal notification can be a phone SMS, it can be an SMS, it can be an email, and it can also be a notification in the app. Think of that as internal. Anything that's send email or send SMS, that's sending to the prospect. So I'll just let you know that. So you can do send email if you wanted to, and you can set this all up. Now, what if you wanted to set up some reminders, or you wanted to set up a bit of, sending them at a certain frequency? There's two ways you could do this. Now, one way you could do this is go add to workflow. And then what you would actually do first, is you create another workflow with your automated, like your SMS journey. It's not a bad way of doing it, by the way. And then you could keep things separate. What I mean by that is you could create another workflow. So you create another workflow here, just like we've done. You call it something like follow-up SMSs. And then what you would do is you would add to workflow, and then do follow-up SMSs. Now, what I am going to do instead is I'm just going to make it here to be simple. I'm only going to do one. So this is, if you know how to make one follow-up, you know how to make more, right? So I'm going to add a new one called wait. I'm going to name this action name. I'm going to call this 15-minute wait. And you could do it type in 15 minutes, click save action, saved, and then I can send another SMS. So I'm just going to send it here, and I'll just say something like first name, almost there, aiming to call you shortly. Kind regards, location.name. Okay, I'll just click save. And then you can do as many of these as you want. Now. If you're smart, or maybe you've just been in the game before, or maybe you just got lucky, you're thinking, well, hang on. What happens if in between this first SMS and this 15 minutes, what happens if I actually call the lead? Are they going to get this automated SMS? You bet they are. Ah, that sounds like a pretty bad customer experience. That sounds a bit weird. It does. That's why we're going to fix it. So now what I'm going to do is going to create another workflow. We're going to call this the same date, 2024, 11:01, and we're going to call this remove from Meta Ads Lead Workflow. I'm just going to pause the video. Okay, so I just looked it up, and it turns out that what I was about to say we could do, you can't do, which is why you should not make a video unless it's a functionality that you've actually built out. So in this case, actually, what I would do, and this is how you would usually do like automated like SMS reminders, if you will. You wouldn't actually do 15 minutes. I don't know where I was going with that, but let's just say it was this. Let's just say it was a day. That's more reasonable. So let's just say we do 1 day, 1 day wait, and then you had an SMS, potentially a reminder or something like that, if you wanted it. So what I'm now going to do is check this out. So if I then go to, let's create this new workflow, which is fine. We already had it created. I'm going to put in here 2024 11:01 remove from Meta Ads Lead Workflow. We actually want to name that again. Now, let's see if I can remember how to do this from scratch, because this can get a little bit funky. So we're going to put in here pipeline stage changed. And we're going to do filters, and we're going to go in pipeline, and we're going to select inbound leads pipeline. So the pipeline stage has changed. Then what we're just going to do is actually remove from workflow, current workflow, another workflow, and we're actually now going to select Meta Ads Leads. So what we're saying here, and by the way, I'm going to double check this. And to be clear, like, I made so many of these automations, and I still have to double check things because it's so easy to just miss a little thing and then be like, oh yeah, we got to fix that. So you're kind of really seeing an unfiltered version here, really. So if the pipeline stage changes of the lead, it should remove from workflow. So let's see how that would work. So theoretically, I'll quickly explain that to you. If I go to opportunities. So how it should work, right, is when the new lead comes in, it goes to this stage. Now, when it's still in this stage and nothing's happened, it's in that workflow that we had earlier, where it's going to wait a day then send the SMS. But if I were to come in here and move this lead to a different stage, let's do it now, it's now going to go, oh, this particular workflow, which by the way, has already detected it. So I would say it's working. Obviously, we'd have to check with the real lead and stuff, but I'm pretty satisfied this is good. As we can see here, what's now happened is it's gone, okay, we've detected the pipeline stage, and we're actually now going to remove it from the workflow that it was in. Now, if you go to enrollment history, you'll be able to see actually what just happened. So if I had a real lead, and I could go through a whole test, I'm not going to do that. I think this looks good, but if someone else follows this, if you follow this and you have any issues, just let me know. But right now, just to recap, really basic, what's now going to happen within Mammoth, the CRM, is when the Facebook lead comes in, you're going to have an opportunity created in the pipeline. You're going to have a tag added for that lead segmentation to segment where the lead came from. You're going to have an internal email notification as well to notify yourself or whoever the lead has a new lead so you can get onto them. There's going to be an automatic SMS saying, hey, I've got your details. And if there's a day wait and nothing's really happened, you haven't heard from them, you've got this reminder here. Oh, actually, you should change this, by the way. Change this to something else like, hey, reply yes or whatever it is. We've then got another workflow, remove from Meta Ads Lead workflow, which is when the pipeline stage shows removes from workflow. Also, by the way, I'm pretty sure you can do this if this is it. Contact. Bear with me. I'm going to pause the video because I think there's something else that will work here. Yeah, cool. So if you add another trigger and you type in customer replied, Then if you add filters and let's do SMS, sorry, not SMS, reply channel, then SMS, save trigger. So basically what should happen now is if the customer replies, it should also remove from that workflow. So they don't get those automatic reminders. Depends how you want to set it up, by the way. Just to be clear, I don't think I explained this. The reason we also had the remove from meta ads workflow with the pipeline stage, the reasoning is, I just really did not explain this. The reasoning is that if I were to speak with the lead, let's say they were a new lead, if I was to call the lead as the business owner, I'm going to move them to a separate stage, whether it's lead contacted, whether it's quote booked, and you can have much more intricate pipelines. This is really basic. Also, I do like basic in general, especially for starters, by the way. But that's the logic is that if I was to speak with them or even try to contact them, I would actually move them. In fact, you could even, what I'm going to do, actually, this is probably what I would probably do, is just to make it clear, I'd probably put here lead contact attempted. That's probably better because technically I haven't been contacted if you left an email, a voicemail, SMS. There we go. So I'll just go back and that should... Oh, did it save? Let's have a look. It might just be refreshing. Oh, I don't think I saved it. I think sometimes I quit out of it before I press save. Okay, let's try it. Yes, lead contact attempted. So you move it here and then it would trigger that workflow so they don't get the automated SMS. Yeah, so that's pretty much a basic thing in a nutshell here. So if you are looking to run your own meta ads, and you followed my previous video of how to set all this up, this is how you could set up the back end. If you do need a hand on the email setup, so email and the phone number, definitely let me know. I might do another video on that. It's a little bit complex, but this is pretty much, this is a pretty good start. All right, cool. See you in the next video. Hope this helps.